What? What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one. And this one is, it's a sad one, folks. You know, it gets you right now because it's over. It's game over. Emilia Clarke says goodbye to everybody, to the show Game of Thrones, last day on set, it seems like. And it starts to sink in right now that Game of Thrones really is over. Now, before we start talking about that, I have a special guest with me, my man 50 Grand, one of my men from the very beginning of Teflon TV, from the beginning times, still rocking with me. My brother from another mother, Sir LT Giles.
What's up, everybody? And it's good to be back on Teflon TV and discuss the show. It's been too long, and I'm just happy to be here.
No doubt. Happy to have you, LT, without a doubt. You know what I mean? And what up to all my hit squad in the chat, chilling with me tonight? What up to Sailor Diva? What up to Shawnee and Charlie? What up to AK-47 holding down the strap? What up to Smoker Hannes? What up to Fernandez T? What up to Liana Stark? What up to OTDA holding down the strap? What up to Joanna K? What up to Bertie the Burnt? What up to everybody up in here chilling with us right now? And listen, we didn't plan this out, nothing like this. I just seen it, and I felt like talking about it. It is sinking into you right now, knowing that Emilia Clarke gave her goodbyes on this show. That this show is really about to be over.
Tony, stop gloating. I know what you're thinking, and I think you're gloating because you always love being right. And I don't think you're right, but I think you're gloating because you think you're right.
What are you talking about? I just asked you a question.
About her being Nisa, and that John's gonna kill her.
I didn't bring up nothing about that whatsoever. I'm just asking you if is it sinking into you?
No, not one bit. Because remember a long time ago when you were doing your videos and you said, enjoy this because it's going to be over. No, it is the end of the main series, but we already seen there's going to be more and more Game of Thrones coming up. So I'm not even worried. I mean, yeah, it's going to be sad that it's the end of the main show, but I'm not even worried about it. We're going to have plenty of content to last us and plenty of shows to come. So.
Now, if you do want to talk about her being Nisa and me being right about that over 3.5 years ago, we can talk about that, LT. I have no problem. I have no problem since you brought it up, LT. I will elaborate on that if you want to. I have no problem. Her wrapping up her shoot. Pretty easy to see. If other people are shooting, it could mean she could die. We will talk about the fate of Daenerys Targaryen as this show goes along. But first, let's talk about Emilia Clarke as an actress. Now, I've never seen her act in anything before this. I don't know if she ever has before this or anything like that. Were you familiar with her in any way besides this Game of Thrones show?
No, I've seen her in movies she's been in after the show, but I've never seen her in nothing else besides Game of Thrones.
Yeah, me either. So when you first seen her and you seen her come out there as Daenerys Targaryen, is it what you thought Daenerys Targaryen should be? Do you think that she's played this role perfectly? We could start with season 1, her progression.
Oh, I mean, see, I didn't read the books till after season 2, so I didn't have a picture in my mind what Daenerys Targaryen looked like. But yeah, I think she's done fine, this whole year. I mean, not this whole year, the whole series. I mean, even first episode, I mean, you look at her and she just has that look, It's funny because when you look at Emilia Clarke, she is a beautiful woman, but with that wig on, I think she's more attractive. I like her that way, more than her natural hair color. But no, she just has the look, and just season 1, I think season 1 she was real powerful as a character. How she at first is getting, raped by Drogon, and then how she turns it around, and then come on, I mean, I'm not a Daenerys.
You mean Drogo, not Drogon, because she was getting raped by Drogon.
God damn, Drogo.
Listen, that'd be a bareback riding dragon right there.
That's something that twisted porn folks would like to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm not a Daenerys fan, but there's been a few times that or more than a few times that she gets me, like, or I get her, like when she walked out of the fire pit, of course. Um, just on your recent video where you showed that speech, at Slaver's Bay, you just you can't argue with greatness, and those two scenes were great.
Yeah, I think that Emilia Clarke really played the shit out of this character. I think she's done a great job. I know a lot of people, some people have given her grief about it. Me personally, I like the way she played. It's hard for me to see somebody else playing this character now that I've seen her play it. I don't think I would want to see anybody else play this character. And I can't say that about a lot of people in this show, but I think I can definitely say that about Emilia Clarke. I'm definitely
Do you know
happy
who
to
the
see her play it.
original cast? Do you know who the original actress was that was supposed to play Daenerys?
Now, who's that?
Did you ever watch The Tudors?
I started to watch it.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the actress, but she was one of Henry VIII's queens on that show, and she just she's a little taller, a little more slender. Um, I can't think of her name, but I would prefer Amelia. It's funny, Jerry, who will be here in a little bit, guys. He prefers that actress. Jerry read the books before he watched the show, so I guess that actress is what he imagined Amelia Clark looking like. And see, that's the thing. I envy people like that because, like, I couldn't start imagining people till, like, once I got to Storm of Swords and Feast for Crows, because all the people, like, when I read Game of Thrones, I imagine Sean Bean being Ned Stark. When I read A Storm of Swords, or anything with Stannis, I imagine the actor that plays Stannis being Stannis. Other
You
people, they
see,
have
I had to get into that. That wasn't the way Stamps was supposed to look to me.
no, of
But
course not.
I accepted that. I thought that he played a good Stannis and his look was fine for Stannis. But that wasn't the way Stannis was supposed to look for me. But I didn't mind that look for him. Not at all. Not like Euron Greyjoy. I think is probably the worst casting that we've probably
Oh,
seen
definitely.
out of everybody. So nothing like that, you know what I mean? But not at all. Euron Greyjoy was just not the guy that I've seen in the books that we're seeing on this TV show. So yeah, we've seen Danny go through a lot of stuff, a lot of arcs. Obviously she's the one who's really brought the thunder. She's brought the dragon. She's the one who's really held down, all the slaves and everything else, and did her little journey across everything. So what do you think we're going to see happen with Daenerys Targaryen this upcoming season? We start with like episode 1. What do you think we're going to see her do in episode 1?
Man, I listened to minor spoilers from those fake leaked scripts before they were even written, but I like it. I like that they're all going to be in Winterfell. Like, I think the leaked script, and people, don't worry, these have been debunked. There's no way they were actually real because the scripts hadn't even been written yet. But it was like saying that they'll all be in Winterfell, even Arya. I like that. I think that makes sense that they'll all be in Winterfell in episode 1. You know?
Yeah, I would think that she would eventually have to get there. I mean, so what happened last season? They were sailing, right?
Yeah,
So
they're in a boat. Hmm.
yeah, so I would think they would eventually have to get there. I think episode 1 probably will see her with the dynamics of her trying to win over the Northern Lords. I think that's what most likely is going to be the conflict. I don't know if we're going to see any White Walker action with them, but I do think we'll see White Walker action in the North. But I don't think we're going to see anything with Jon Snow in there. I think it's most likely going to be a lot of political situation. I think that it's possible that Jaime Lannister could also arrive at Winterfell. So
I
how do
think
you?
the.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say I think it basically goes like this. Like we said, they're in Winterfell. Like you said, Daenerys is trying to win over the Northern Lords because John hasn't been told his parentage yet, so he's behind her. They'll probably be bickering and all this stuff. And I don't know what else will happen, but I'll tell you right now, the last scene is going to be somebody. I don't know if it's Carhold or Last Hearth, but somebody's going to make it from there because that's going to get attacked by the White Walkers. And so the last scene of the episode is going to be, they're coming or something. And then next episode will be them preparing to fight the White Walkers. And then after that, they're going to escape, and Winterfell's going to get sacked.
Yeah, because I can't really see anything else going on in that episode with them. Because in King's Landing, I can only see Cersei Lannister really being with Euron Greyjoy, whether she marries him this episode right off the bat when he brings back the Golden Company. I could see her doing that. Besides that, I don't really think she's going to be doing a lot in episode 1. I think most likely it's going to stay in the North. And I think there's just going to be the dynamics with them, which I like. I don't think you need to have action every episode. We don't need a big battle scene every episode. I like to see the Game of Thrones being played. But I do think there's a possibility that Daenerys could have to maybe execute somebody or do something while she's up there to make people, know that she's one of them. I think it may have to go there. I don't know where those dragons are going to stay. I have no idea how they're going to pull that off. Just have
What
them.
if one of the Northern Lords disrespects her, and then she, like you said, they have no choice. John has to take him out or something.
Yeah, well, she has a couple of problems. She has a problem with Sam Tarly. She killed his father. You don't know, and his brother. Now, you don't know if it's going to go down to the part where Sam's going to find out exactly how that went down. We don't know or if she's just going to say, hey, your dad and brother died on the battlefield. He may just get that story. Or is she going to get the story of exactly what happened, that she basically executed his father and his brother by dragon fire in front of everybody? It depends. So how he reacts to that, we still don't know. We got a super chat here. Thank you very much, Sailor Diva, for the super chat. And it says, I think that Sam will find out that Daenerys will burn his father and brother and tell Jon about his parents in episode 1. What about that, LT? Do you think that Jon will find out about his parentage right off the bat, episode 1?
I always thought that maybe Bran and Sam will tell them together, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's only 6 episodes, right? Or is it
That's
7?
it. 6 episodes.
6. Yeah, so yeah, they got to move this on fast. So I could see that.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I would like to see it. I don't like seeing things drag out. That could be another dilemma. It's just going to be the Daenerys Targaryen dilemma with the North, basically, when it goes down. So I could see that definitely going down like that. That it could definitely be a huge thing. But the Sam situation with Daenerys, I just don't know if Sam can just sweep that under the bridge. If they're just going to have him do that, because she was wrong. She was 100% wrong doing that. There was no need for her to do that. She could have had him bent the knee, and Tyrion did not want her to do that, and she did it. So it could be a situation like that. We still have Jaime Lannister. Will he make it there in episode 1? And if he does make it there in episode 1, we have the dynamic with Daenerys Targaryen dealing with the guy who killed her father. We've heard her say, my father was a very bad person. Do you think that she'll forgive Jaime Lannister when he's there?
I think regardless, she's gonna have some kind of bad feelings toward him. But I think maybe they just have to move on after it, because um, maybe it's for the good of the realm. I don't know. I mean, you know. I have a question though for you in the chat. Do you guys think that there will be any kind of awkwardness between John and Daenerys when he finds out that's his auntie?
Yeah, I think that there would have to be. I mean, how can't there be? When you find out that's really your aunt and you slept with her and she could possibly be pregnant with your child. No matter what the situation is, you would have to be pretty shocked by that. We have gotten another super chat. Thank you very much. Right here in this super chat is from my man Fernandez T, and he says, to get this up, we appreciate you for this question. Life's original stab at you. So this means she will die, and your theory is right. For us who didn't reach news, why is she leaving anyway? Why is she leaving? I think she's leaving Daenerys Targaryen because Emilia Clarke is she's done shooting. So I think that's why she's leaving. As for my theory of her being Nisa, I think that she has to be. I don't know if we can see Daenerys survive this thing. I don't know if that's a good story if she does survive, but we can talk about that a little bit later if it goes down. Oh, that's the whole reason he stayed a virgin. Yes, I do remember that without a doubt, Fernandez, without a doubt. You know what I mean? So I think that this is what we have to see with her. So we go from that to episode 2. I don't know if episode 2 is the battle episode. I don't have it right in front of me, but I know that the battle episode is either episode 2 or 3. I would think it would have to be sooner than later. Maybe somebody in the chat could tell me which episode it's Miguel Sapochnik directing, because we know that would be the battle episode. I think that it's episode. I would think it would have to be episode 2, because I think they have to get right into it.
Have you seen some of the pictures, Tony? Like that people have taken?
Yes. So Miguel Sapochnik will direct episodes 3 and 5. Thank you, Big E. Thank you, Scott McCloy, for letting us know that in the chat. So yes, I have seen the pictures that has been released. LT, I'm on top of this, baby. This is my job. I got no choice. So we're talking about the first 2 episodes, really with no big major battle. Now these episodes are supposed to be feature of film length, right? So what does that mean to you? Like 90 minutes at least, right?
Yeah, well, I heard, hour, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're talking 90 minutes, 2 episodes with no battles. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I don't know how they're gonna do that. It has to be something else going on there.
There's got to be some kind of battles. Like maybe Euron and the Golden Company fight somebody. I don't know. I mean, and maybe that takes 15 minutes of time there, and then you got, like you said, we got to have Bran and tell fucking John that's in his parentage. So that's maybe 15 minutes there. So that's a half an hour. And then we got, man, you're right. There's got to be something, man.
Yeah, this is a long time. When you start looking at it like that, especially when you have everybody in the same spot. You know what I mean? So there's no jumping around. What could Cersei Lannister be doing? She has the Golden Company. You figure that has to happen in episode 1. As my theory said a long time ago, that Euron's going to marry Cersei. That has to happen within episode 1 and 2 now. So we're going to have to see that then too. So what happens after that with Cersei Lannister? What does she do? Does she send the Golden Company up towards the north? If so, that still leaves her there by herself. I think we'll probably see the construction of some of the weapons that she's putting up, a mounting for the dragons, the new crossbows or scorpions. But I don't know what else Cersei Lannister would be doing.
If I was Cersei, I would whoever built that scorpion, I would have at least 4 on each side of the fucking castle, maybe more, to take out the dragons. Jerry!
What's up, fellas?
What's going on? We are now joined by another member of the Hypes Watch. This is like the Hypes Watch invasion on Teflon TV. And happy to have him. He knows his shit, and I love the way he talks, because he says it like it is. My man, Jerry, the Targaryen Steamboat.
Thank you, Tony Teflon, and thank you for having me here.
No doubt. Now, Jerry, we're going to go back a little bit and get you to answer these questions that me and LT already did. But we got the news. Emilia Clarke is the last day on set. This was it for her. She's saying goodbye to Game of Thrones. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like, oh, this is finally coming to an end? Do you feel like it's really here, the end of this?
Me, no. I'm sure for her it does. It's still not real that it's actually about to end. I'm still in the mind, because I'm such a big fan of the books. I'm still in the mind of the Winds of Winter. Like people were talking to me. I was making points about Theon in our reread about how he's a tragic figure and some other stuff, and like people were like, yeah, but he jumped out of the boat. I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. So I'm kind of in a Winds, like a real. When the show's not going, I go to like in a real book mode. So, yeah, but I think once it starts, I'm gonna be like, oh man, this is it. This is the last season.
I hear you. So we also said we got Emilia Clarke. Well, I wasn't familiar with anything she ever did. I don't know if she did anything before Game of Thrones. How did you like her portrayal of Daenerys Targaryen from reading the books first and watching the show? Was this an actress you liked the way she played it?
I thought she started out pretty well. But as time went on, she kind of went and did her own kind of a character a little bit. Sometimes, yeah, like season 2, I thought was kind of a miss. Screaming about dragons and shooting fire out her armpit, and but there's some times where you really see like Daenerys, like especially the whole Dothraki thing in season 1. I thought she really played that part well. Um, I think as long as they keep it to the source material, she's pretty good. I don't really have too much complaints other than maybe they should have dyed her eyebrows too, because you can totally tell she's a brunette with like dark lashes.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, so I guess we're back on track right now. So we're talking about Jerry. We're talking about episode 1 and 2. We know that Miguel Sapochnik is directed episode 3, so we're assuming that the battle is going to happen there. We're having trouble figuring out exactly what Cersei Lannister is going to be doing for those 2 episodes. But besides that, what do you think that Daenerys is going to be doing in these first upcoming episodes of this upcoming season?
She's going to be in that boat with Jon. She's going to be in that castle with Jon. She's going to be with Jon. She's going to have these Jon. You know how they kind of wrote her like so with Dario eyes in the book? Well, you ain't going to see any of that in the show. You're going to see her with Jon eyes. Like, she's just going to be all over this guy. They might throw in like some kind of conflict. Like, yeah, you're supposed to be the queen of Westeros, showing way too much favor to the North here, especially to this king of the North, who hasn't even really, or who, I guess he did bend the knee in the last season. So, but yeah, I think there might be, she'll be very, very much into Jon, very much into the White Walkers, very much into everything North, which as she should be. I mean, there's a reason why we love book Stannis, is because he's the one who's like went up and went to the North.
Indeed. So what about when Sam Tarly meets Daenerys? Do you think that the fact that she basically murdered his father and brother, well, first, will Sam find out exactly how they died, or will he just find out they died in the field of battle? And if so, how do you think he's going to react towards Daenerys?
I think he's going to react pretty well. I think when he grabbed the sword, he was about fed up with his father's BS. To hear he's going to die, he's going to be like, you know what? This is the bastard who threatened my life, sent me to the Watch, took away my rights. Then when I came back, treated me like, called me a fat pig, gave me no respect, even though I'm killing White Walker. I'm Sam the Slayer now, and he's still treating me like Rodney Dangerfield. He ain't give me no respect here. So I don't think he's gonna be too sad for Ren. You might see him show like, because Sam's such a nice guy and such a kind-hearted guy. You might see him show a little bit of like, oh, well, like take it a little easy. Like it'd be like, that guy sucked, but he was my dad. But I understand. But he'd be like, but I understand.
Yeah, and what about when she meets Jaime Lannister? I'm sure he has to make it there within the first 2 episodes. You think that's going to be an issue with her?
Yes, I think Jaime Lannister is going to come. He's going to be captured. They're going to kind of make him stand and answer for everything he's done. Now that he's there, they'll be like, you have a lot of nerve showing up by yourself here with no army that you promised after all you've done. But I think eventually he's going to be like, he'll convince him, and they'll be like, okay, well, for the greater good, we need you on our side.
Wait a second, that made me just think about something right here. Jaime Lannister, if he is captured like you say so, and they're holding him like that, do you think it's possible? Imagine you in the chat too, the Hit Squad, and LT also, of course. You think that we can see a trial by combat for Jaime Lannister in one of these episodes here, for the trial for Bran and for what he's did to Mad King Aerys?
I love Jaime Lannister. I think before he lost his hand, he's one of the at least top 10 greatest swordsmen. I also said if I was in Westeros and I had a trial by combat and I could pick anybody to be my champion, it'd be Jaime Lannister before he lost his hand. But let's face it, he's one-handed. He can't win a trial by combat, so I don't know why he would do that. I think he'd have a better chance winning a trial by faith.
Yeah, but he can always choose a champion. He doesn't have to fight
Oh
for.
yeah. Well, I mean, who would champion him? I mean, John. I mean, no. Who else? Any Northern Lord? I
Tyrion.
mean, who?
It would,
They come with an axe.
it
It could
would
be
be
like golden axe.
it could be a reverse situation. Now Tyrion needs help. Jaime's there, he needs help. You know, Bronn is there. Bronn could do it. I don't know who would represent Daenerys. I mean, she has a billion Dothrakis, so it could be any one of them she could pull up to make them represent them.
Would
So
we see? Would we see Tyrion? Okay, so you guys are probably gonna laugh at this, but I just thought of this, and it is kind of a joke. But if Tyrion were to fight with that axe, would he like his fight style be similar to Yoda's in Star Wars, like jumping around with the axe?
You know, I mean, you say it's ridiculous, but if you remember in Game of Thrones in the books, he's doing flips off the roof.
Yeah.
yeah, well, let's look at what the situation we're in here. This could really happen. Now we know in the books, right? Jaime Lannister is basically almost in a trial by combat situation with Brienne, right? And Lady Stoneheart, right? That's the way they have it in the books with him. So if they flipped it around, that could be something that goes down.
Oh, I
in
didn't.
Winterfell.
That's
Brienne's
exactly
there
what
too, right? Isn't Brienne there?
Brienne will champion him, actually.
Yeah,
probably.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, totally.
So we got Brienne up here. I think we got the boy one. I think said it in the chat first to give credit where credit is due to the boy one of the hit squad, saying Brienne could be his champion. You know what I mean? So we have Brienne could champion because this could be, you know, like a same situation. You could put Daenerys in the spot of Lady Stoneheart, put Jaime Lannister on trial, Brienne his champion versus a Dothraki. It could be a Dothraki or something like that.
And it would explain why they were so, like, even though George kept saying you should really include Lady Stoneheart, but why Dane and Dave were like, no, we got this covered. Maybe they had this plan.
Alicia King says, how could Brienne be his champion when he serviced to Sansa and Arya? That's Alicia, why you gotta come and try to mess up everything?
How could Brienne get credit for the Hound when he fell off a cliff? I mean, how could they say that she was right to kill Stannis when he was technically her lord? I mean, we're thinking too deep into this here.
Yeah, I think that they would allow, because I think she would get on her knee in front of Sansa and say, Lady Sansa, I would like your permission to defend Sir Jaime. I know he's a good guy, and I put it on my honor that the gods will see it through.
I mean, and technically in the books, if we're talking, she is technically in service of, you know, Stoneheart. And she might, and in the book, she might be champion Jaime.
Yeah, you can even look at Sansa as Stoneheart and her playing the role of Stoneheart, right? It's just like that going down for Jaime Lannister when he gets to Winterfell. And I think that right now, after this talking about it with all y'all right now, I think there's a good chance that Jaime Lannister has a trial by combat in the first couple episodes of this show. I think it's something can go down there with him.
And not only that, I think he'll actually start off the trial by combat, and then I think Brienne steps in for Jaime, kind of the way he stepped in with the Bear that Made Him Fair kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Role reversal.
This makes sense because earlier we were talking about how long these episodes are, and we were trying to feel stuff and figure out. So this does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from a book standpoint and look at it from what's going on, the trauma that's going to be there, you know, especially it could be a drama between Daenerys. It could either be a drama between Daenerys and Sansa, or it could be the uniting thing that brings them together, the hatred for Jaime Lannister or something like that, you know? So I think it works really well. I think that we're going to see Jaime Lannister. We're going to ask the chat, what do you think, chat? Will Jaime Lannister be put on trial, kind of like a Lady Stoneheart situation this upcoming season? Put what you feel in the chat. I will read your name and I will read it out. You don't have to agree. Us three are saying yes. But NYDA says no, he does not believe there will be a trial. Pink Glass says it will be Brienne versus Braun. That would be great. Dr. So says no way. Taylor Diva says not in the show. Fernandez T says by who? Carlos Emilia C says it's possible. Erica Stone says I think so in the show. Peter Griffin says Arya needs a new trophy. Amber says nope. John Brand and Brienne and Tyrion will defend Jaime. Alicia Kington says possible combat, but not with Brienne. So we have most people saying no, they don't believe it will happen. We do, but listen, they have the right to be wrong. So listen, it's all right to be wrong. It's okay, you know. And someone has to be right, someone has to be wrong. And everyone else who said it's going to happen, I'm with you, and I just happen to be on the side that's right. I can't help it. It's my show.
I have a hard time like saying anyone could be wrong when it comes to the show, because the show is not really constrained to things like sense. So we could do whatever, and if it can make a great scene, especially with some of the directors you see, great music, hey, might as well.
No doubt about it. So real quick, let's go back a little bit if we can. Even though we know this is about Daenerys, we're gonna keep talking about Daenerys. But I'm puzzled now still about this Cersei Lannister first 2 episodes. What she could possibly be doing for 2 full episodes down there, because she's basically by herself.
Well, remember she's trying to get the Golden Company.
All right, so we get this. So she gets the Golden Company. She has Euron. I think that she'll marry Euron. But then after that, what happens to her?
I guess she's going to try and send an army to flank the North.
Because 2 episodes is a long time, and I don't know if they can. They're going to leave Lena Headey in King's Landing by herself while army marches. I mean, what is she going to be doing for 2 full episodes down there by herself? It's hard for me to see exactly how they keep her and her storyline interesting. Yes, they could show her building the scorpions. They could show her shooting another dragon skull or shooting up in the air, you know, popping a fucking balloon, whatever they want to show. But I don't know what they can do with her. I mean, is she gonna march with the army? Is she gonna be there with her going to the north? That would be interesting. That'd be something no one expects to happen.
That's a great point, because if you think about it, this is the first time in the show's history that we do not have a focus really in King's Landing. So much focus this show has been in King's Landing, especially season 1 and season 2. Heavy focus in King's Landing. Now it's like almost like it's all going to the north, you know?
Yeah, how many characters do we have? Okay, I'm trying to think. We have her. We have the Mountain, who doesn't speak. We have what's the Maester's name?
Qyburn.
So we have Qyburn. Who else do we have in King's Landing? Is that it?
Yeah. That's it, man.
Yeah.
And wow. Euron when he
yeah.
And that's it.
We could have one episode where Euron is parading. Oh no, he already did that. But I guess we could see Euron and Asha. But would that be in King's Landing or would that be on his boat? I don't know.
He's got to get married to her. That's the only story that she can have that could keep her interested.
That could take a big chunk. If they do that in the first 2 episodes, there could be a big ass wedding, and there could be a reception. So that could take a chunk of an episode.
What are the odds that the Ninth King could fly directly to King's Landing over the north?
It would be the smart play.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I got the Iron Throne now, guys.
Yeah, because he went down there, killed everybody, and then got an army right then. Then took all them dead bodies, started marching them back up. Had his army already coming down, it would be game over.
Exactly. Well, Tony, you said that shadow is probably his dragon, right, over King's Landing?
Yes, I said that like 3 years ago. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But you know what's weird? It's like that vision was in daytime. I always imagined if he attacks King's Landing, it would be like nighttime. Like
I always thought they didn't want to give it. They couldn't give it away, and I don't think that they planned on everything. Like I don't think that D&D when they did the the House of the Undying scene, they said, hey, at the end of the episode, last episode, we're going to have Lannister lions in the windows. I don't think they thought they were going to do that. Whoever the set designer decided to come up with that came up with that. You know what I mean? So that's why I think you see inconsistencies from what that vision is and what you're actually going to see. You know what I mean? And he's supposed to bring the cold. You know what I mean? So when he flies over after he's done, it'll probably be all icy and stuff like that. But it would just give away too much. You could not just have it just covered completely in snow with the dragon flying over top.
Although no one's really talking about it. So, I mean, did it give away that much? Since I think most people have kind of forgotten it by now.
Yeah, I think so, because it was real. Like, I think they made a big deal of it too early, because it was like one of the season posters, right? Like early on, it was like a season poster. They used that shadow over King's Landing, like season, I don't know, was it 3 or something like that? But they used it really early, and then never got back to it. Like, it was never seen again. So I think a lot of people have forgotten about it.
Alicia Kingston made a good point. Like, hey, he could come in, sneak in, and marry Cersei ahead of Euron, and then we got that Night's Queen theory. Night's Queen theory. Alicia Kingston, got it.
Yeah, he would have to take Cersei the wilding way, I think. You know, and if he did that, you know what I mean. I think it would be a wrap for her. You know, he could be one of those dudes that if he puts the kiss of life in her, and her eyes just turn blue. You know what I mean? Instead of he just kisses her, blows it in her, and Cersei's eyes turn blue, and then she becomes that. But that would go against my theory of Melisandre, Lisa. So we can't have that, right? We're all on my side here. We're going with what I said, and Melisandre becoming the Night.
So that's a good point. And Melisandre, we don't know where she is either. Last we saw her was on Dragonstone, so maybe she's in King's Landing. Maybe she comes to Cersei. I don't know. Yeah,
we don't know exactly how that's going to play out. You know, with the Cersei, the Valancourt, I'm still going to think that it's I'm still going to think that it's Euron without a doubt. I can't see it. I think that's why the only reason to cast Euron Greyjoy in this show is if he marries Cersei and kills Cersei. There's no other reason. If not, you could have casted Victorion Greyjoy. The difference between him and Victorion, I believe, is the fact that he's going to marry Cersei. Or you could have just made this character Vic, which probably would have been more exciting to do.
And as far, you're right, because as far as the way he's acted so far has been also more Victorian than Euron to begin with.
Yeah, they had him looking like a professional wrestler coming down that thing with the mouth coming down there attacking the
he was doing the Hulk Hogan and the Undertaker thing on the boat. People were hitting him, and he was just like he was no selling. He's like John Cena. He's just throwing it down.
He did a decent job on that boat fight. I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna hate on the boat fight. He did a decent job. He was fighting a bunch of little girls, but hey, he did a decent job for fighting a bunch of little girls.
The problem with that boat scene is most fans are going to forget about it by the time we see him again. But no, I have a question. Do you, Tony, since you think he's the Valonqar, do you think that happens early on or at the end?
I think that George R. R. Martin said that the Iron Throne is going to change multiple times. And I think people forget about the comment that he said multiple times.
I think we've seen one of it because I think Cersei's taking Aegon's place right now, so I think that's one right here.
That's one right there. So I think you're not going to get too many after that. So I think you have to have a point where Euron takes the Iron Throne. I think he has to be one, too. So multiple times we have Cersei. She's doing the Aegon role. Then you have Euron, I think, will take it off of Cersei after he kills Cersei. He'll just be the de facto ruler on the Iron Throne. Then it'll be done after that.
You know what? I just had a thought. I mean, it goes back to the book. What if in the books, Euron's going to marry Daenerys after he captures the dragon and forces her to marry her? And then it's Euron really leading the Dance of the Dragons Part 2 against Aegon.
Yeah, I think.
And then he becomes a king in the book. Then we're just doing that all over again here in a more compact version of it.
I think that sounds real good. I think you have a good possibility because if he gets control of the dragon, I think somehow that's how that dragon will die and eventually get resurrected by the Night's King.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's how they use that in the books, you know. But I think Euron definitely will get control of a dragon and have a dragon battle. I think it definitely will go down like that. We have to see
I
that, and
think
I can
we're gonna.
definitely see that, Sherry. It's good. That's good thoughts.
I think we're gonna get a definitely 100% without a doubt a dragon battle between John and the Night King.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you have to, right? We have to.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be similar to what was his name? Jerry, help me out from the Dance of Dragons. Was it Damon? What was his name? The guy that he waited for him at Harrenhal, and then they fought on the dragon against each other.
Talking about Amoth and the one-eyed
Yes.
Amoth and
Yeah,
When he came
and
down in the lightning, when the lightning was flashing, and he came through the
Mhm.
lightning. He drove him all the way up and came straight down on him, on top of
I
him.
think because this is
Mhm.
Hollywood now, this is all the budget. I think they're gonna have an epic fight on the dragon, and then somehow it's gonna go to the ground. And like maybe your theory's right, Tony. Maybe like do you think that John's done, and somehow, like you said, Jamie gets him from behind, like
So,
Hound Reed got
so you
finished
think
Stark.
it's going to be a recreation of that scene, LT, with the dragons, except in this time it's going to the Night's King's going to take the place of Amoth and or Amon,
Yeah,
and John's going to be like Damon Targaryen, and do
yeah,
things like jump off his saddle. Well, they don't do saddles in the show, so.
yeah. Somehow I mean, they don't explain how they stay on the dragons, but they'll
Mhm.
be on there.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna see the one-on-one battle. I think it's a great possibility, as LT said. That I think Jaime Lannister's coming from behind and stabbing the Night King from behind. I think it's going down just like the Tower of Joy. I think it goes down like that. That's how eventually the Night King gets finished. But
Somebody's got to hook up Jamie with dragon glass because I don't
well,
think he has that.
he's got Joffrey's sword, right? So he's good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does he like? I've always. Where is Joffrey's sword? We know that Brienne has Oathkeeper.
Yeah,
What
so
happened to
Jamie has that sword. He has
Okay.
Joffrey's sword
Yes,
on his
Willing
hip.
Whale,
Yeah, so he's
Wailing Widow, whatever.
Widow's Wail. Widow's
Widow's
Wail.
Whale. There you go.
And so he's holding that right down right there. So what was I thinking of? I was gonna say something. Forgot. Jaime Lannister, Night's King. I forgot what I was going to say about that. But I really did forget. That's terrible. It'll come back to me eventually. Eventually. So yeah, now I got it. So now that we have we've seen exactly that we have so much time in these first two episodes. Does that mean that it's quite possible that we get a brand flashback in these first two episodes to fill up some of this time? And if so, which one would you want to see?
Well, we've seen the children make the others. We've seen the Tower of the Joy. We've seen him flashback and see Lyanna and Rhaegar get married. I'm not sure what other important flashbacks that we have left, other than maybe we see the truth about the wall. Maybe he flashbacks to find out about that. That's the only thing I can think of.
What do you think, LT? In the chat, what would you want to see in a brand flashback this season?
Or, oh wait, one more. Or we see the flashback of, well, they don't call him Azor Ahai in the show, but the prince that was promised. Maybe we see a flashback of Nisa, and that's when John. Well, I'll talk about that because I'm sure we're going to get to Daenerys endings.
Yes, we will
Later. So
definitely
we'll leave
that. LT.
Come on, I want to see Attorney at Harrenhal, man. If they could do that, but they probably won't. I don't know. But that sounds good too, Jerry. The Princess Promise. That sounds good too. To see that.
No doubt. We got a lot of things going on here in the chat right now. We got some Mad King flashbacks. Can Bragg walk an ice dragon from the mind of the Night King? We'll answer that in a second. We have Something from the God's Eye, episode 4, Brand's Pack flashback. Jaime killing the Mad King. Didn't Jaime lose Widow Whale in the river? Nope, Jaime has Widow's Whale. Something with the Pack, the Night of the Laughing Tree. I want to see the First Men. beating up the children. Dany will become the Night's Queen. We got here. Robert not killing Rhaegar. Why, Renee? Why would you think Robert didn't kill Rhaegar? I think that's a done deal right there. Attorney at Harrenhal of Brandon Stark's death. Totally not gonna happen, as it's too lame to introduce it now. But I would love to see some Summerhall. I'm with you, sir. Bowser. I would think that some Summerhall would definitely be good. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I think that we're gonna have to see some flashbacks, because I don't think that Jon may not be convinced, and I think that quite possibly now, I believe in the books, because we know that Jon is a warg, that Bran could possibly touch Jon and bring him back into the vision, as we seen Bloodraven do with Bran. I think
mind meld there.
Yeah, I think it may be a situation that he does that with Jon and shows him something from the past. It shows him, goes back there. But I do think that we have to see Rhaegar. We know that we know that we've seen the actor Rhaegar on set there, so we know he's in it. I think we have to see Robert Baratheon and Rhaegar fight, the end game. Rhaegar dying with the Ruby Ford, with the river, everything else. I think we got to see that part of Rhaegar's story.
What pisses me off about that is if they do that, we're not going to see the epic antlers, and we're not going to see the dragon helm, because this stupid show doesn't do helms, man. Since the Hound, we don't see helms, and I know if they do that, they're not going to have the helms.
No, they won't have the helms. I doubt that they'll have them on horses. You know, I don't think they'll have them on horses at all. I think they'll just have them on just regular fighting it out and stuff. But even if they have it like that, I would love to see it. I hope they do that. I would hope that would be something that would help, that I would love to see. Because if not, I don't really want to see any fillers. I don't want to hear anything about a filler or anything from the jump. Go, 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 go. And I'm just trying to figure out exactly how Cersei Lannister at this particular time story is go. I don't see how it goes at all for her in the upcoming season. I think Cersei Lannister, unless there's something I'm not catching in the chat, what you think is going to keep Cersei Lannister entertaining. But I don't see it. But we can move on to episode 3. We know that it's directed by Miguel Sapochnik, so this is going to be the battle. So somehow I think this will be definitely the White Walkers battle. Jerry, we'll start with you because you're the newest, and then we'll go right to LT. How do you think, obviously I believe, and I'm sure you do, that this is the White Walker battle. How do you think this is going to play out with Daenerys Targaryen in this White Walker battle?
Well, they got to lose. I mean, the White Walker, I mean, if they win, show's over. So they got to lose it somehow. They got to get pushed back. Like, they got to come. The White Walkers have to score a victory, because we all know in wrestling, the chase is what you want to see. You got to knock the hero down once, and then he's got to chase the villain. So the villain's going to get a punch here, and they're going to be on the run, I think. So he might even kill another dragon. We're down to 2, right? He might even kill another dragon, and then they have to bounce off on Drogon and be like, we got to go. We got to get out of here. And maybe that's when they meet up. Maybe that's when they run into Cersei on their way back south. They run into the Golden Army and be like, you fools. And I don't know. So I think it'll be epic. I think it'll be it'll have great music, of course, because great cinematography. You're probably going to see some aerial battle between Drogon and Dany, but you won't see. You'll see the White Walkers win. I think in the end, they'll catch him off guard enough to where they have to retreat. And I think that's when Jaime, if he's carrying Widow's Well, comes in to help. They'll take out a White Walker. Brienne will take out a White Walker. Sam, put him back. Give him another White Walker to take him out. Give him. You know how great would it be if Sam ended up being the guy with the most White Walker kills in the end of this story? So let's give him another one, and then but they end up having to retreat just from being overwhelmed. Kind Kind of like Hard Home.
That would be great. What do you think of LT? How's it gonna go with Daenerys Targaryen with the White Walker battle?
Well, I think Daenerys is gonna get the hell out of there on Drogon, but what I
You
want to
think
see is
she's
not.
gonna leave everybody? Gonna battle
Well,
together?
not maybe she'll take a few people with her on the dragon, but what I want to see, we're not gonna get, because I think it would be cool. Like what I want to, I know for 100% sure there's gonna be a sack in Winterfell. They're gonna attack Winterfell, but what I want to see is somehow Jon and the Night King have a battle in episode 3, and the Night King kicks his ass like bad, and he has to get out of there, and that he's gonna in his head he's gonna know what he has to do for the next time around. You know what I'm saying?
Rocky
He's
3,
like,
LT? Rocky 3?
yeah, similar. That's what I want to see, but that's not gonna happen. I think when they sack Winterfell, I like what Jerry's saying about people with Valyrian steel swords attacking. But remember, there could be other people with dragon glass because they were mining it at Dragonstone. So there could be other, there could be bows with dragon glass. We could have a good battle here. It probably won't be a slaughter, but I think they'll be pushed back and have to retreat. And maybe some people will hide in the crypts. I don't know who, but we might get some deaths too. Maybe people we like. I mean, maybe Brienne. Maybe somebody like that dies in episode 3. I mean, this is the last season. You know.
I think Barrett Dondarrion's got to go. That guy's been living on borrowed time for a while.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. But I think
Definitely.
it's gonna. I think what you're gonna see is somehow. I like what you're saying. We got to see Daenerys on Dragon. I think we're gonna see the duel Daenerys and Jon on Dragon back right off the bat, fighting the Night King in the air. I think we have to see that. I think we will see that. Eventually, it's gonna go to the ground. Somehow, Melisandre's gonna be there. I think that Melisandre's gonna be on the battlefield, fighting on the battlefield. With them doing her magical abilities, and she's going to be there making it happen. And eventually, I do think that everyone's going to get pushed back. I think that they'll eventually have to escape through the Winterfell crypts, and that's how all the survivors will escape. But I think that's exactly how it's going to go down. Now, you say you think that it's possible that another dragon could go down. That's quite possible. The dragon could go down. So we'll talk about the deaths in this battle. Who do you think is going to die in this first upcoming salvo?
Well, it was Rhaegal, who's one right there. Barrack, get him out of there. Who else? Bronn. Bronn's been living on comedy time for so long. That guy, he's got his jokes can only go so far, before he. I'm surprised. I'm still shocked he didn't die in Dorne like Tony predicted. I'm still shocked to this day. So he's him, Dawn. I don't want. I think Brienne lives, but she's one possible. Obviously, all the Starks are going to get out of there fine. The Hound. Hound's not dying until he has another tussle with the Mountain. So the Hound, I think he's okay there. If any of the people from the Wall, like Dolores Head or anyone, end up there, then they're gone. Jorah Mormont, I think that he will die defending the North. That'll be his redemption finally. Like,
do you think it could be like they're real close to Daenerys and he's like no and like takes it and he's dead?
I think he needs to pull like almost a Hodor with the hold the door, and he comes out with the sword. He's like, no, I abandoned the North once. It's my time to fight it. If I die here, this is where I was born. It's my time to defend it like I should have long ago or something like that. So they'll have some line of some sort for him to make Jorah look really cool.
What are you thinking, LT? Who's dying in this battle?
I'm in agreement with Jerry. I don't know. I think Brienne could go too. I mean, I think a lot of people have to die this season, obviously, and I think Brienne could die. Of course, Beric, like Jerry said. Maybe some Dothraki. Who's there? Like who? Oh, maybe Grey Worm's there, and he dies too. I mean,
But if he dies, we don't get no more Grey Worm Missandei scenes.
The chat is saying Grey Worm. The chat is saying Podrick. The chat is saying Tormund. It's chat saying everybody's gonna die. I think we're gonna get a lot of death. I think we're gonna get another battle with them, but it's hard to see how the Golden Company comes into play. Is it that the second battle they're coming back? They don't think they have enough men. Somehow the Golden Company come on their side, and then after that, it was what gives them the strength to win this final battle with the Night's King. Then they have to turn and tackle Cersei Lannister. But without the Golden Company, what army does she really have? So you would still think that the Golden Company would somehow have to stay with her. So if they retreat and get away with their smaller forces, how do they defeat the Night's King? What will be their advantage? I mean, they had all their advantage right there with all their men. If they can't get it done right then, how are they going to get it done later on?
The reveal of Jon as Jon Targaryen could cause the Golden Company to switch on Cersei, thinking that she's got them won, she's got them beat, and they're like, and she's telling the Golden Company, kill that Targaryen. They just
Targaryen? And there's no Blackfire, so obviously they're probably going to be loyal to the Targaryens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they're going to go with the Blackfire situation or have it with the Targaryens, we could see possibly a switch of them coming on to Jon Snow's side. But you think they would do that for Daenerys anyway? You know, that they would just already switch it and do that. So,
but Daenerys has never tried to get to get the Golden Company for some reason. Well,
people are thinking, saying they believe that that Euron is going to take the Golden Company straight north. I don't know if he's going to do that because I think we're going to see Storm's End this season. I think we would have to, if we're going to see Storm's End, this would be the time to see Storm's End. I think at the end, because in the end, I think that Gendry will survive in the end. I think we have to get Storm's End somehow in there. I think we have to see it this season. I think maybe the Golden Company will have to be down there, chilling out there with Storm's End.
Yeah, and Storm's End will have to be very Gendry-centric, that's for sure.
Without a doubt. So I guess we have come right now down to this part, and we're gonna take questions after we get down to this. So if you have any questions, please get ready for your questions. Get ready to ask whatever you want to ask. So we're going down here. Emilia Clarke has wrapped the season. We're gonna go through a couple of questions right now, and then we're gonna ask you how you feel it's gonna end. First off, Jerry and LT, do you think that Daenerys is pregnant?
No. Well, yeah, actually, I think, she is pregnant.
Yeah, definitely 100%. But I want to mention something that's funny. Jon said he never wanted to, have sex because he didn't want to make a bastard. But if they don't get married and that baby's born, technically it's a bastard. Because the definition of being a bastard is having a child out of wedlock. So technically it would be a bastard.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to see two weddings this season, it looks like, between Daenerys and Jon, if she is pregnant. Now, do you think that she carries the baby to term, the baby is born, or you think that the baby dies?
There will be a time jump at the end. Well, this is if she doesn't die like your theory. If she makes it to the end, they'll possibly do a time jump, and then the baby will be like 2 or 3 years old at the end.
She can give birth to the baby and then die after that. She doesn't die during childbirth, So I'm just saying, do you think this baby's going to be born when this story is end? Or you think the baby's going to die?
No, I think the baby will be born.
I think the baby will die, but I'll leave it to where I'll hold off to how I think this baby's going to die.
The chat, let me know in the chat if you think that the baby's going to die or you think the baby's going to make it. The chat wants to know, do you think that she's going to have twins or one baby?
One baby.
I don't think it'll ever be defined. It'll be twins or one, just that she's pregnant.
Well, if she gives birth, two are popping out of one.
Hey, Emilia Clarke, she said that she cried when she read the script. So,
well, I got a thing that might, or an idea that just might make people cry when we get to Daenerys' endgame. Might make people cry.
we're right here at Daenerys' endgame right now.
All right. Well, let me get to it.
So right now we're going to we're gonna talk after this. We're gonna take questions from everybody out there. So the ending, Daenerys Targaryen. How do you think it ends for Emilia Clarke? LT just said that she said she cried when she seen the script. How is it going to end for her in the end of this season 8 Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke?
I think that she doesn't tell. She's about to tell Jon that she finds out she's pregnant. She doesn't know what to think with all this war going on right now. She's happy about that part, though. Melisandre comes back into their lives and tells her tells about the story of Azor Ahai. Bran confirms it. Everything goes down like that. And I gotta borrow this from a YouTuber who may or may not be posting this chat right now, posting this video right now. But he made a video years ago about Daenerys' endgame with pictures and how she is Nisa, Jon's Nisa at that. I think in the end, Jon is going to make the hard decision that he needs to. I don't know how the show's going to show what Azor Ahai is, but he eventually is going to stab Daenerys, his Nisa, and kill his own child too in the process that he probably finds out with as he's stabbing her. And then after that, he's going to have the flaming sword. He'll be the new rider of Drogon, and that'll level him up enough to be able to take on the Night's King.
Indeed. I like to hear that. It sounds familiar to me, and I like that. I like that very much. I think that you have I think that has a great chance of happening. LT.
I just want to tell LT first before this that if you're having trouble imagining it, LT, imagine it like Highlander Endgame between Connor and Duncan.
I think that has more of a chance happening in the books. This is what I think happens. I think Jon finds out Daenerys is pregnant and he puts her somewhere secluded. And we seen last season how Jon was bonding with Drogon. So I think Jon hides her somewhere like similar to the Tower of Joy, like how Rhaegar put Lyanna. And he fucking gets on Drogon and goes fights the Night King, right? And he gets damn near fatally wounded, and that's why she's crying, because Jon's gonna die again, and she's gonna be crying, and Jon's gone, and that's the end.
All right. I think it's gonna go down like they're fighting on the dragon backs together. I think that they both get crashed to the floor. When they crash to the floor, she's gonna already know about the Nisa thing. Jon's gonna know. She's gonna tell him to do it. He's not gonna want to do it. She's already gonna be injured and hurt, but he's not gonna want to do it. Eventually, he will stab her on the battlefield, get the flaming sword. That'll give him the ability to go and then fight the Night King with the flaming sword. I think he'll get on Drogon, fly down to King's Landing when he's down there, and start wreaking havoc on King's Landing with Drogon Jon when it's all said and done. But I think that's how it ends. But I also think that it's quite possible. It is possible for all you Daenerys Targaryen fans out there that Jon could kiss a life her and bring her back just for all of you people to be happy in the end, and kill himself and sacrifice himself in the end to bring her back. Crying. Yeah, because if he does that and then she's raising a baby or whatever, I think there's a possibility. Because if Jon survives and she dies, listen, people, as much as you may hate it or not want to hear it, he's gonna be with Sansa Stark. In the show, there's no doubt about it. I can't see it going any other way. Now, I believe that that's not going to happen, so you don't have to worry about that. And Sansa's going to wind up with Gendry, and then in the books it'll be Edric Storm. But I could see it for show purposes without doubt that if Daenerys doesn't make it, John's got to marry someone. If he made one of them, I don't see them both dying. What do you guys think? You think John and Daenerys both die and it's over, or one of them survive?
I think one of them survives. I think Daenerys survives. I think she's been the favorite on the show, and Kit Harington is slowly catching up to her, but I think she's the favorite one. So I think, like I said, I think he'll defeat the Night King, but he'll be fatally wounded, and he'll die, and that's why Daenerys is so sad. But I have a question for you two. When you said that Jon is sticking the sword through Daenerys' chest, when it's on fire, will he say, "I am the power"?
It's quite possible. They saying that will he have that He-Man type strength when he's sticking it in there? It's quite possible that he will have that He-Man strength, because after that, listen, John's got to get that motivation in his eyes again. You know what I mean? That killer man look, that eye of the tiger before he goes back at the Night King a second time. And I think it's going to be killing Daenerys that makes him get that dun, 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 dun. And that's, because it takes you after you get your ass kicked. You see the Rocky. He got his ass kicked, and then what happened? He got on the beach. He said, "I'm scared, all right? I'm scared. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid." But it took him to overcome that and everything else to come through. When Mickey got killed in the other Rocky, this is a motivation. You have to have that type of motivation. And I think that Jon, when he gets killed, when he kills Daenerys himself, and he has to see her life force fade away, and he sees that flame pop out of that sword. And I hope that shit comes out green, like Luke Skywalker's fucking lightsaber, when he does it. And he just takes out the Night King when that all is said and done. I hope it goes down like that. I think it's got no choice but to go down like that.
Will we see any dialogue from the Night King at all? What do you guys think?
The Night King kind of looks like Skeletor now that I think about it.
You could be a situation like that. I don't know if we're going to see any White Walker speech. The thing I am worried about is with this prequel situation, with them saying to find out the real origins of the White Walker. I would think that we would have to see. I need to see something with the White Walkers in this Game of Thrones. You can't give me nothing. I say if you kill the Night King, all the White Walkers drop dead, and then that's it, and they just move on, I'd be very disappointed. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still think things in the book are different, but I think they need to start thinking about, and maybe that's why this is the pitch that won, because she got she knows what's going to happen in the end, so she's able to piggyback on that to make a script that's going to be fresh in people's mind. So maybe that's the reason why I won.
And George R. R. Martin has come out and said that he's working with everybody. So don't think that he's just working with this one lady and this is him and her sitting down writing scripts together. That's not the case. He's just working with everybody in there. So it's not like it's George writing the Battle of Blackwater and going through the whole season like that. It's this chick. This is her doing it. He's just advising people, and he's advising everybody. And I'm telling you, the fact that one of the scripts was the rise of Khal Drogo makes me very scared, because that reminds me of Spartacus and the rise of the undefeated Gaul. All right. And that makes me nervous if they're going that route with Game of Thrones. I don't want to see Spartacus in Game of Thrones or anything associated with it.
Well, you can maybe do a Spartacus. Oh no, I don't even know if you can. You can do Spartacus in like old Essos, maybe.
I mean, you can I'll take a couple of those guys over in Game of Thrones to fight, but I don't want to see Spartacus in Game of Thrones. Not at all. Not at all. That's a totally different situation going on there.
Though, to answer your previous question about who think both of them are one or the other is gonna die. Well, I think we all kind of agree that Dany's gonna die, but I do like your thoughts about Jon sacrificing himself to bring him back, and that would be a great one. Brings him back, and you have a new Jon. She has a child, obviously gonna name him Jon to replace the Jon we lost. That would be one way. if Jon does survive and Daenerys never comes back, the only way I see it working out, or not even working out for Jon, the only way I see Jon surviving is if it's like a Frodo-like thing where he survives, but he doesn't really survive and he has to go and he can't stay. He's got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
on a
usually,
journey or something.
usually when people come back to life after being killed, once they're done with their purpose, they usually die somehow or go away somehow. So that's why I'm thinking Jon has to eventually make it. We have a question here from Sailor Diva. Do you think George R. R. Martin will release both books at the same time since we have waited so long? What do you think about that?
Hell
Both books
no.
as in like Dream of Spring and Winds of Winter? No,
Yeah.
I don't even think we're going to. I believe that we are getting a Winds of Winter next year, right after the show. And it just depends how well George does. But I am skeptical that it'll even be a complete Winds of Winter. He might have to only come out with 75 or 80% of Winds of Winter and come out with an 8th book, just because I don't think his publishers want to miss out on the Game of Thrones hype. They've already missed out a lot on the Game of Thrones hype with no books coming out. I think they're going to be. He's already said on his Not a Blog that they're pushing for him to release the Winds of Winter now in like 2 separate books or something. I mean, there's only so much binding you can do. That's the reason why Dance of Dragons had to be split up in 2 books. You can, if you would have tried to put Feast and Dance in 1 book. Well, maybe this would have worked, but the hardback books I got there, the binding wouldn't have fit.
I'll take it right now. I'll take half the book right now. Give me half the book
I
right
agree
now.
100%. 100% with you there.
When that book comes out, you guys won't see LT on Facebook, on Twitter, on nothing, because I don't want to be spoiled and be reading at my own pace. And I'll holler at y'all when I'm done.
Boy, give me half that motherfucker right now. I'll take it all. Give me half that shit, and half next year, or even half 2 years after that. I'll be happy with that. I think he should listen to the publishers. Drop half that motherfucker right now.
We'll be in our mid-40s. By the time Dream of Springs is done, we'll be in our mid-40s.
Everyone's in the Eddie Murphy voice.
You know
I want half Eddie. Half Eddie. I want half Eddie.
I think Martin's a great writer, and I enjoy his other works too. I'm fine with him taking his time giving us the best work. I'm not ready for this ride to die. I mean, this show's about to end, but I'm not ready for the books to end. So, give me more.
What about Fire and Blood in November, right?
I'm right there. I'm right there. Give me more Westeros. That's all I say. Give me more Westeros. Give me more Martin, because if he wants to go back to Tough Voyaging and write about that, give me more of that. I'm down. Maybe we can get a Tough Voyaging show with we can get the actor that played Varys to play Havlin Tough. Go get a bunch of cats.
I think that as long as he just keeps dropping stuff, I'll be happy. And I think with Fire and Blood, and if we were able to get Fire and Blood and then drop half the Winds of Winter or the full whatever right after that, I think it would be great, because I do think that it's going not be the same for Dream of Spring. I think that the fact that Game of Thrones is ending and people are going to believe that that's how the books are going to end, I don't know if it's going to be the same exact buzz for that Dream of Spring as he's going to get for this Winds of Winter. Winds of Winter, it's going to be crazy. Like, it's going to be like, like Harry Potter, people standing outside. There's going to be lines outside. It's going to be nuts. I don't know.
Might even be bigger.
Yeah, it could be bigger than that. I don't know if we get that for Dream of Spring, though. I think Dream of Spring, for the fact that the show is ended, may take away some of that excitement.
How mad would you guys be if you were at Barnes & Nobles or wherever you're going to buy your book and some asshole spoiled something for you and walked by? Like, I think that happened with
Harry Potter with Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm staying home. I'm ordering my book on Amazon. I'm getting my ebook at midnight. It's going to be delivered to me digitally. I'll get my hardback book in the mail later. And I'm just going to go to town.
Yeah, I'll have all 3 formats of the book.
Yeah.
I'll have them all. He'll get all my money. He'll get everything he can get from me. But I'll have the ebook, and then I have the audiobook directly and then I'll go out and pick up the book in the store first. But I like to read it and listen to it at the same time on double speed and get through it that way. I think that for me, that's the best way to absorb it. And especially, audio books, if you want to do feast dance, if you're out there and you're trying to do feast dance, the audio book way to do feast dance is the best way to do it.
I didn't know they had that.
What?
You have to build a playlist.
You can do it yourself. You move the stuff around to the playlist and you make it yourself and stuff.
Okay.
Nope, we got a super chat here. Thank you very much for the super chat. Who is this that sent that?
Blackfire, a song of hype.
No doubt. And he's asking, thank you so much for that. And he says, what's he saying there? He's say, the money you are going.
The money train going. The money train's going.
Oh, let's get the money train going. I can't see it. I got it.
He says, if you want, he says, Don, if you could get one battle, one-on-one, who do you want to see? Who are you trying to see?
One battle, one-on-one fight. Just for the show or in Prime versus Prime? I take it both ways. If I could see one battle just historically, who wins in this fight, I would like to see Sir Barristan Selmy fight Khal Drogo. Prime versus Prime, not old Barristan. Barristan Selmy in his prime versus Khal Drogo. But for this, that's the most battle that I would love to see if we were talking hypothetical battles and stuff like that. This upcoming season, is not really a huge main battle that I want to see that's been building up to yet. I mean, maybe Clegane Bowl, but I would rather see the Hound fight Bronn, to tell you the truth. If I see any big battle, I would love to see the Hound fight Bronn and see how that would play out. Jerry, how you feel about that? Who would you want to see if you could see anyone fight?
One-on-one fight?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to want the Dragon, the Cannibal, versus Drogon. How about that fight? It's just going at it. Dragon on dragon. In the show, you see, well, they give Jon all the best fights. So let's give Jon versus Jon versus Night King. That's what we all want to see.
LT, who would you want to see fight one-on-one?
I want to see Drogon versus Alduin, the dragon from Skyrim. I'm fucking with you. All right, yeah, Jon versus Night King. But is this anybody or is this just from the show?
Let's just say anybody right now, hypothetically, if you could see any
battle. Then I would want to. What I would want to see, because I would like to see if he could confuse him with his speed somehow, is Oberyn against Arthur Dayne. I think I would love to see that fight.
Oberyn couldn't beat Arthur Dayne because he lost to the Mountain, and I just don't think that Arthur Dayne loses to the Mountain. I think that, but Sir Barristan Selmy versus Khal Drogo is interesting. Who do you think wins that? In the chat, tell me who you think in the chat. Right. In the chat, let me know who you think would win that battle. Selmy versus Khal Drogo, both in their prime. All right, LT, tell me who you think.
Khal Drogo has no armor. He can't defend against Barristan.
He used to fight, but he's used to fighting with no armor. You see how he moves.
Yeah. I know he's fast. Right? I know he's fast, but I mean, all it takes is one swipe on that naked body, and he's done, man.
Yeah, all it takes is Drogo's fast too. All it takes is him getting in there with a big.
Yeah.
He wouldn't use his little. That thing's kind of useless. You'd have to go with like a Rambo knife, come in there like that, and he could do it.
Yeah, you don't think that he's fought people with armor over there after all these years of him doing everything? I'm sure he has fought many people with armor.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Who you think you win, Jerry? Who you picking?
I'm going with the Drogo because of his. I think he would use a weapon that could just thrust into an armor, look like a big knife. You don't want to use what is it, Arax? You wouldn't use that. He's too smart, too good of a fighter to know that's useless against armor. So he's gonna use a proper weapon, and he's gonna just do it before Barristan and his bulky armor could do anything. Just go for speed. Go for speed.
That scene in when the guy when he swung at him, he was like, whoosh, and he tore his throat out. That was crazy, man.
But I mean, maybe a spear or a pole arm. Like it's not like Drogo's not big enough to wield one of these.
Yeah, if Drogo gets his hands on Barristan, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. He's gonna rip him right apart. He's too strong. There's no way around it.
Yeah, the thing is, Drogo wouldn't fight Barristan in a sword fight because he knows that's a losing cause right there. Like it'd be over like that.
The chat is split right down the middle, one right the other. One says the pink glasses sell me. Black Fire Song says Drogo. Daryl Hunt says Barristan. Eric Stone says Drogo. It's right down the middle. I think that's the proper way to look at it. It would be right down the middle. But Barristan is so good, but I would just think that with his physical attributes would be too much at this particular time for Barristan. Barristan the Bull. I love Barristan the Bull. I don't know. That's so hard. I don't know. Barristan the Bull could do it. He could figure it out.
Barristan is a better sword fighter than anything that Drogo is good at. But Drogo wouldn't get into a sword fight with him, so it almost takes away like Selmy's straight because he wouldn't get into that type of fight with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because he would just have to get close and grab him up. I would probably lean towards Drogo. I really would. I would have to lean towards him to win that fight right there. So what about Barristan Selmy versus Sir Arthur Dayne?
See, now that is even, unless we're putting in, if you give Arthur Dayne a normal sword, give Arthur Dayne Don than Arthur Dayne, but if you give him normal swords,
yeah, we gotta go with normal sword. It's not fair for him to fight a Valyrian steel type sword that could shatter a regular sword.
Yeah, it doesn't always shatter though. It doesn't most of the time it will, but it doesn't always shatter.
Then it's like a bird versus magic, coin flip.
Yeah, that's a hell of a fight though, right there. Hell of a fight. Those are hell of fights going on.
What about Drogon against Strong Belos?
Drogon. I would think Drogon.
Did you say Drogon or Drogo?
It's Drogo. I'm sorry, Drogo.
He's into Drogon tonight. I would have to say that Drogo beats him. I think Drogo would find a way to chop his fat ass and chop pork chops right off his back. Just chop a pork chop right off him. Mm-hmm. I think that Drogo. No, listen. Drogo was net in the speech that he gives Daenerys. If you watch that show and you look at Emilia Clarke's face, it's like she's having an orgasm when he's over here giving that speech saying he's gonna go conquer the Seven Kings. She's just her whole body is just naked. She's just like she's. I don't want to say she's touching herself at the time when it's going down, but I'm saying the facial reaction that she gives, and you can watch that episode when she's doing that, and she's looking at him. She's like, "Come take me right now, you big motherfucker! Pick me up and carry me away." Because that's the way. Because she was dripping. She was dripping. Y'all know it in the chat. Don't lie. Y'all, you can see it in her face. She was dripping.
That pissed me off because I was such a big fan of him in the first season, and I thought he was gonna, and then he dies like that. Oh man, I was pissed.
No, he died. It's just the way it goes. And that's another thing that I'm thinking about. We talk real quick about the prequel that it could happen. How are they gonna end that thing? You know, you can't pull that, kill the first character, the main character, the first season, and I don't think you could end it at the long night. So how do you really end that? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do to get that done to make it still interesting?
Yeah, other than reuse the same cheap tricks. I mean, they've used.
I think
Game of Thrones a cheap trick, but I mean, it would be a cheap trick if they reused it.
I just can't grasp how the prequel series, whatever they do, is gonna be like. How are they gonna have the game? I don't think they'll be playing the Game of Thrones because there's no Iron Throne, so it won't be as political and as interesting as this series.
No, it won't be. I hate to say it. I really do, but I just hope it's decent. You know what I mean? That's all I'm hoping for is decent. I can't see.
You need a Peter Baelish type character to make it interesting.
But you don't have anyone there that anyone can gravitate to right now that you can just lock onto. Who are you going to lock onto there? Who is the person that's going to carry the show? I don't know who that person is, who that character is that they're going to grab. That's going to make people want to watch that show day after day. I don't see that person in any story that I've read about the Age of Heroes. I don't see that person there. Even if you want to say brand of building, it's not as interesting as what we got here with all these other characters.
George writes the stories, and I wish we had like LML here because he's the one, he could nail it really good. He writes his stories similar to how we have stories, like stories of Beowulf, stories of Hercules, stories like, all those Age of Heroes stories are very like Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Old English stuff. They're written that style. None of those were all that interesting. If you actually, that's why Beowulf didn't make a very good movie. That's why Hercules doesn't make all that great of a movie unless you change things and make Hades the bad guy, or add Disney cuteness or stuff like that. The Odyssey, maybe, like some of the Homer, but those were more epic poems. Those were a little bit different. We don't really see any epic poems in the Age of Hero lore that we got so far. It's more like, like I said, Beowulf, Hercules, stuff like that.
I hear you. We do have a super chat right here from J Lord. So let's answer this question. Thank you for the super chat, J Lord. I really do appreciate it. N plus A equals J in the books.
Who's N? N is?
I guess that's Ned. Ned versus Shara, right?
Ned plus Shara.
Ashara Dane and Ned Stark equals Jon Snow in the books. In the book.
I don't even want to get with these non-R plus L people because non-R plus L equals J people because I just can't. I can't with them right now.
If you believe in that, just go. There's other channels I'm not going to speak of. You should go check them out.
And most likely they have checked them out, and that's why they're asking. So you sent me a super chat, and I really do appreciate it. So I will definitely answer your question seriously. I just don't think that if it was like that, I think that they would have to show that in the show. Also, I just don't see why it would have to be such a secret if that was the case. You know what I mean? Why would they have this big secret of who Jon Snow is? Why would they have to hide it if he was just a Dane? That's not good enough reason to hide that. You know what I mean? To hide it because he's Rhaegar Targaryen, the rightful king of Westeros, would be a good reason to hide it. Would be a reason why Robert would want to hate him. But if Ned was just fucking a sure Dane, there would be really no reason for him to hide that from Robert Baratheon.
There'd be no reason to even bring Jon. He could be like, let him be raised in the Danes and Dorne. He'll have a great highborn. He'll be treated better down there than he would at the north, really.
No doubt. So for those reasons, that's why I can't get with it. I think that the Dane's purpose and the reason why he was there, I think that Rhaegar's plan was that if he fell, he wanted Sir Arthur Dane to take Jon Snow and run away with Jon Snow, whether it was with Lyanna and him and Jon Snow, to take him and raise him, because I think he knew that Jon Snow was a Azor Ahai, and he knew that Sir Arthur Dane's sword is Lightbringer, because he did all that research, and that's why he became such good friends with Sir Arthur Dane, because the House Dane, their only purpose in this show is to hold the sword of Azor Ahai. I think that's it, and that's what it is. So I think that's what it is, and I think that's why there's hints of that, of Ned Stark and everything else, because that was Rhaegar's plan. But that's what I think. That's the best way I can say it to you. I can't say it any better way, but that's the reasons why I can't see that happen. So I hope that was really hope that answers that question for you. So we look back, because we'll have to wrap this up in a little bit, because I don't see a lot of questions out there right now, unless people are going to drop some more questions for us. Emilia Clarke's full performance of Daenerys Targaryen. I know we don't have it yet. We haven't seen it yet. But what do you think? A scale of 1 to 10, 10 being that I would never want to see anybody else play this character but her. How do you think it will be remembered for her? How do you remember for you for her?
I'll give her about a 7. I mean, I think she did well. I think someone could do better. I'd rate her as let's call her a Jack Nicholson, because he did an awesome Joker, but in my opinion, we saw better eventually. So I think she was a great start. Great start. Could have been a lot worse.
Kieran Pierre says a 10. Kieran, I'm sorry. We got Pierre, my man KP. He says 10. Right. We got Southeast says Southeast 101 says a 4 out of 5. Listen, the booty's definitely a 10. You're seeing that right off the bat. The booty's a 10. She gets a 10 on the butt cheeks. LT, what do you give her?
That's the only Daenerys Targaryen I know, so I'm giving her a 9.
NYDA gives it 8. Ian says 8. Alicia Keeson says 10. Jasmine B says she gets a 9. Scott McCloy says 8.5. Fritz says 10. Southeast says no, 4. He says a 4 out of 10. What happened here? What's going on? Well, I would say that I'm gonna give up a whole portrayal and everything else of Daenerys Targaryen. I'm gonna give her a 9. I'm gonna go high with it. I liked her. I don't think that I would want to see anybody else play it. I think she brought a lot to the character. I liked seeing her naked every time she got naked. I liked it. I think that, listen, the speech she gives when she sets the Unsullied free and she fucking starts speaking Valyrian to that dude and tell him to stab that up. I think that could be one of the, if not the greatest speech in all of Game of Thrones that she pulled off there. I was ready to start stabbing motherfuckers from hearing that. You know what I mean? So that's the way she got me in that. So I'm going to give her a high number. I think she has a lot of great memorable moments. I really loved her as a character. No, Southeast saying Don looking at the cakes, not the performance. I'm looking at both. All right. I'm looking at the performance and I'm looking at the cakes. And it goes hand in hand, right? It has to be because she's supposed to be one of the most beautiful women on the planet because she's Valyrian, right? So I'm looking at both. I think that she did a good job. Shanty and Charlie says 8.5. SRS says great until season 5 in his opinion, but he doesn't give a number there. I
thought her seasons were hit and miss. I thought she was really good in season 1. I thought she was excellent. I thought she was mediocre in season 2. Season 3, like that speech you said, back to excellent. Some of season 6 I thought I could really do without. But at times she was excellent. At times she wasn't. And some of it was the writing, some of it was her. But overall, still I give her a good grade. 7.
Where are my dragons?
Yeah, that was a little too much.
I mean, listen. That was too much, but so was Luke Skywalker when Luke, I am your father, screaming, no, that was too much too. Classic, right? And when you look back at it now, you look at the little whiny Luke ass Skywalker, no! You laugh at it, but back then that was something. So hopefully that scene goes down there with her like that. Pink Lash 007 says, what will disappoint y'all with the seasons coming up? What would be the biggest disappointment if you don't see it this upcoming season?
My biggest disappointment this season, or
yeah, I guess this upcoming season. What would disappoint you the most if you didn't see it? They didn't do it.
Nothing at this point. I've kind of given up on this show being book accurate, so I'm just looking for a good time.
I think for me, if they try pulling the dream sequence, like if this is all, like I swear I would be so, I would denounce this show if it was all a dream and they were all Winterfell and I would yeah, or if they tried pulling some Soprano shit and just faded to black, oh yeah, that would, those two would, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I think if they don't give me anything with the White Walkers origin or anything about the Night's King origin, I would be mad. If I don't see fucking ice spiders, I'll be mad. If I don't see the battle I'm expecting to see, I would like to see the battle. Like, you know how Miguel Zapata is like kind of famous for like showing one person's perspective going through the battle. Like he did that with John, and then I don't know if it was him that actually directed it. I don't think so with the loot train, but they did it again with Bronn. I would like to see them do that with the Night's King and have him coming through from that side, wiping out all the man while he's coming through Winterfell. I think it would be more interesting to show that side of it and have him coming in there instead of following one person like they did before and starting again. I'd rather see it from the other people's perspective and taking out all the human beings and stuff. SRS says he thinks they will do Arya's perspective. That's a good pick. I think that Arya has a good chance to have her perspective when that's all going down and everything else. But I definitely want to see some ice spiders. I want to see it all. They got too much money not to give us everything. There's no reason for them not to give us everything in all these episodes, without a doubt.
Do you think we'll see, if we see ice spiders, do you think we'll see the Hound just fuck one of them up?
You have to, whatever weapon the Hound holds down, you know what I mean? J Lord says, I'd like to see the evil Starks. Thank you for the $2 super chat. And he also gave another $2 super chat saying that N plus A equals J again. Hey, thank you. You keep paying. I'll keep saying it. We'll see what happens going on. That's the way we get down. But we're gonna be wrapping this up. Listen, we'll be going for over an hour, almost 2 hours here. You know what I mean? Thank you for all y'all coming out here, chilling. But as always, before we go, you know how we do on Teflon TV, the inventor of it, rep your hood. Please put in the chat where you're repping. I will let everybody know that we are worldwide and that we come out here and we represent everyone. Did we see AU Pack Mule up in the chat chilling up there for a second?
Did we? I didn't see him, but what's up, AU?
I thought I seen him real quick, but hopefully I did see him. What up, AU? Thank you for the super chat, Southeast 101. I appreciate that. Edric Stone, Baltimore. Shanny and Charlie, Georgia. Fritzmo, North Carolina. Carrion Pierre, Trinidad. Caron, Pierre, KP, Trinidad. Alicia Kingston, New York. That's where she reps. Jasmine B. Oh, it's going quick. I gotta go back up. Let's see. Sailor Diva, Detroit babies in the house. Daryl Garth, Fort Lauderdale, chilling out there. B1 Mary is in OC, California. Jasmine B, QC in the NC. Keon, Pierre, Trinidad, and Tobago. I can't say it. Tobago.
LT, we got some Vegas people here.
Really? Wow.
Got some Texas people here, or a Texas person.
What else we got here? We got Johnson Haymaker, Elmont, California. We got is this going too fast? I'm so sorry. I'm missing everything and stuff like that. If anyone sees anything, just shout it out. NYDA, Lowell, Massachusetts. Amelia C is representing. It's representing Amelia C. I forgot. Jonathan Haymaker is representing the California, but he retracted that. Australia from the man right there, chilling with us. Thank you for the super chat, Australia. Who sent that right there? I don't know. Andrew Knight is representing Las Vegas.
What's up, Andrew?
Wetjar is representing Kansas. Listen, people representing everywhere, man. Travis Inzahar is representing Pennsylvania. Aegon Stark is representing Georgia. Thank you for everybody out here chilling with us. LT, Jerry, let the people know where they can find you.
You could oh my bad, go ahead, Jerry.
You can find me on the Heights Watch. We do epic chapter rereads. We just recently did one on Theon this past weekend. So if you want some interesting takes and way of thinking of Theon that you might not have thought of, well, check out the Hype Watch channel. We'll be doing another reread next month, probably with one from Game of Thrones. LT, you want to let them know where you come from?
Yeah, you could find me on the Heist Watch as well. Like Jerry said, we just did a Theon reread. We also did a Cobra Kai review of season 1 of Cobra Kai, so check that out if you guys are into Cobra Kai. Yeah, I haven't made nothing in a while, but who knows? It's random with me. But anyways, always great to be here on Teflon TV.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Wasser, Texas loyal.
No doubt. Thank you for both coming out here. Always check out the Hypes Watch. I'm always in the chat chilling there. Definitely check out their channel. They have great rereads. They have great videos. And it's just a friendly thing. They are the originators of the hype. So definitely watch them without a doubt. You know,
One true
Teflon
hype.
TV, you're one true hype. And you know, definitely Teflon TV. You know how we do here. I have a live stream coming on this Friday. I do believe it's going to be at 8 p.m. We have Charlie in Westeros. We have other people on there too. I'm going to announce a different person every day leading up until that Friday. So definitely set your calendar. Hit that bell so you get your notifications. Charlie in Westeros. We're going to be talking about the whole upcoming spinoff. Is it a whole small council reunion? We will see. But I'll put a different name on Teflon TV on the Facebook page. So subscribe to the Facebook page. You can see the names going down there. Friday, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Check us out then. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.